Hello, YouTube. Welcome to my channel, Marriage, Politics, and Sports. It's the season. It's the political season. And Candice, so what's politics without talking about Candice Owens? And not just the election. It's just a good time because she's always got something politically to say. And maybe you guys could agree with her, maybe you don't. But first, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell. And, comment to this particular video. We're going to spend 20 minutes listening to Candice Owens talking about how American sovereignty has been usurped, has been overcome, has been actually conquered by another nation. And our leaders are complicit in that conquering. They gave away the store. They gave away our sovereignty. And you tell me in the comments how you feel about it. She's going to give you a little indication how she feels about it, but you tell me how you feel about it. So it's like a 20-minute clip, so there's no way to shorten this, but I'll stop it in between every so often and make a commentary. But I heard it before, and I'm going to hear it again. But I want to share it with you, the audience out there. And you, whether you agree with her or don't agree with her in terms of the importance of what's going on, it's still a fact that it is going on. And we should be concerned about that because the number one concern of Americans should be America, our country, our stars and stripes, our sovereignty, the protection of our nation, and not the bending to knee to any other nation on the face of this earth. I don't care who they are. So, and the fact that we're doing that should give everybody some pause for cause. Anyway, without further ado, we're going to let her get started, and I'll stop it every so often because it's a long clip, and I just don't want to play it right off. I'm going to put the link to this full video in the description, okay? So you'll be able to give her credit. It's all fair use, but I'll let you listen to the whole thing in context yourself.
Okay, Elon Musk woke up. Elon Musk was trending. By the way, I love that. One thing you would say about Elon Musk is he really must believe in free speech, because the fact that Grok had a whole statement about how people are questioning Elon Musk, and Grok is the AI that sums up what the controversy is. And I don't know what happened. I kind of missed it. I woke up and then saw that he was trending over statements that he made about anti-Semitism, and people were essentially saying, this is not the Elon Musk that I invested in. This is not the Elon Musk that I believed in. And so I will tell you, I guess, one snippet of what went down, because it was hard to follow all of it. But AOC tweeted this yesterday regarding Bibi Netanyahu's speech, in which, by the way, Elon Musk attended, which I'm not sure what drove him to attend it. Maybe it's because he met Bibi Netanyahu recently, but he was one of the people that was in the audience offering him, I guess, more than 50 standing ovations is what Bibi Netanyahu got. But AOC's tweet reads, "Just so we are clear, Netanyahu has lost so many people that he is addressing just a fraction of Congress. When this happens, they fill the seats with non-members, like what they do at award ceremonies, in order to project the appearance of full attendance and support." So that's a factual statement there. There's nothing there that she said that I guess we should be too upset with. I covered that yesterday on the show, that a ton of people in Congress were declining to attend. Thomas Massie being one of them, who has been my favorite congressman for years. You can check the tapes. I have had him on my show way before October 7th, saying that he was an ideal congressman because he really stands by the American people and always votes against every single dollar going overseas. More people in Congress should be like him. But Elon Musk responded this to AOC. He wrote, "The Democratic Party has become openly and boldly anti-Semitic." So hard to garner whether he's saying her tweet itself is anti-Semitic, which I certainly hope he's not saying, implying that by her telling us that they are creating an illusion that what you are seeing is a show. And that happens over and over again. Honestly, The world has become a stage. It really has become a stage. And she's letting you know that you're seeing this as if it was roarish applause and that your Congress agrees with him. But the reality is they basically had to get in actors in there. Maybe they were like, yeah, you're an intern. You fill this seat, you'll fill this seat, because we want to create the illusion that he has the full support of Congress when he doesn't. That, frankly, shouldn't be allowed. But she's telling us that it is. Maybe what he meant was that the people that are that Thomas Massie is anti-Semitic. And I have some strong feelings about that. I think most of you guys understand how I feel about Thomas Massie. I think he should be president of the United States. I would crawl over broken glass to vote for Thomas Massie for president of the United States. So if Elon Musk is going to come for Thomas Massie, then Elon Musk is coming for me. If the implication is that Thomas Massie cannot represent the American people by saying, I'm not showing up to this war show, that's what it is. It's about promoting war with Iran, because that's what Bibi Netanyahu wants. If that makes him anti-Semitic and makes him an enemy of Elon Musk, because I guess him and Bibi are friends, then I guess me and Elon Musk, we ain't on the friendly side.
So let me stop it right there. So listen, just the first part of what she just said, there's no way that AOC's comment could be taken as anti-Semitic. Just no way in hell. And the congressmen who didn't show up and women who didn't show up, they're not anti-Semitic. As Americans, we have the right to not support things we don't agree with. And it doesn't matter what nation it is. It doesn't matter who it is. Netanyahu, to me, is a despicable man. So I don't know why, we should support him at all. But, the leaders of the nation, they're going to support him. And that's why we have a chance to not vote for them, or vote for them if they have something that's more important to you. That's the freedoms we have as Americans. And no nation on the face of this earth should be able to take that away from Americans if we choose to put America first. So let's let Candice say some more.
That's how I feel. That is how strongly I feel about the work that Thomas Massie has done. He is exemplary of every bit of character that every single person that we send to DC should have. And yet we don't have that. And this brings me to the next question. What is anti-Semitism? Because I'm going to tell you guys, I'm getting real tired of what is so obvious. I'll tell you what it is. The definition of anti-Semitism is everyone in the world is allowed to critique Bibi Netanyahu, just not you Americans. I think that's where we're at right now. That's today's definition. Don't forget that I once spoke to a rabbi extensively, and he told me that the definition mutates, so they can drop it and change it every day. But I would say officially, as of yesterday, the definition became that everyone in the world is allowed to critique Israel and allowed to critique Bibi Netanyahu, except for the Americans who are funding him. If Americans do it, then we get to call them anti-Semitic and try to ruin their lives. And I'm going to show you an example of that. People who have openly critiqued Bibi Netanyahu and have not been called anti-Semitic. And I think the greatest example of that would be Ari Emanuel. I would argue that Ari Emanuel is, from a business perspective, one of the most powerful Jews in America. I think that's an absolute fact. He owns Endeavor. They own a ton of companies that are under the Endeavor brand, the UFC being one of them. Ari Emanuel notoriously got Kanye West blacklisted from Hollywood by writing a letter. After he wrote that letter, Kanye West, who's one of the most famous people in the world, was dropped from Adidas, dropped from Gap, okay, over his anti-Semitism. Listen to Ari Emanuel speak about Bibi Netanyahu. This was taken, I believe, in May, just a couple of months ago. Take a listen.
Netanyahu doesn't want a peaceful solution. And it's become clear that getting to a political solution and Netanyahu remaining in power are irreconcilable paths. Jews are not selfish people. We are a people whose Bible tells us to treat the stranger like one of our own, who should turn the sides of the corners of the field for the orphan and the widow, who should help. We are the ones that helped during the civil rights movement in this country, like when Andrew Goodman and Michael Schwerner gave up their lives for the cause in Mississippi on June 24th, 1964. We're charitable people, but Bibi Netanyahu is fundamentally selfish. The cost of giving this man what he wants has become far too great for far too many people. Reputations can be ruined a lot more quickly and easily than they can be repaired. And Netanyahu has tarnished a legacy that does not belong to him.
By the way, you should go pursue that speech in its entirety, because I'm pretty sure it's been what people like me have been saying for a very long time, that everything that he has done has been a disaster. And for everybody who thinks that it's the rise of anti-Semitism in America, maybe you should try to see it through the lens of it's the rise of people who are standing up to Bibi Netanyahu, are getting tired of his thuggery. And I want to be clear, I believe that it is thuggery that he is doing. I'm going to show you a clip of Bibi Netanyahu in a moment. But first, I want you to watch this video because, again, apparently, if you say it and you're Black and American, that makes you anti-Semite. Ari Emanuel said it. I will wait, by the way, journalists, I watch every minute of the show for you guys to do what you do to me to Ari Emanuel. I better see like articles going crazy tomorrow about him being a raging anti-Semite Jew hater. I think that's the right language. But here's another video. This one is from back in 2002. A woman named Shulamit Aloni, I might be saying her name wrong. Was an Israeli politician. She founded the Rotz Party. She was also a leader of the Meretz Party. She served as the Minister of Education for a year. And in 2002, she was awarded the Israel Prize, which is the country's highest honor for culture. Here's what she said in a radio interview from 2002. Take a listen.
Yours is a voice of criticism we don't often hear in the United States. Often when there is dissent expressed in the United States against policies of the Israeli government, people here are called anti-Semitic. What is your response to that as an Israeli Jew?
Well, it's a trick. We always use it. When from Europe somebody is criticizing Israel, then we bring up the Holocaust. When in this country people are criticizing Israel, then there are anti-Semitic. And the organization is strong and has a lot of money. And the ties between Israel and the American Jewish establishment are very strong, and they are strong in this country. As you know, they have power, which it's okay. They are talented people and they have power, money, and media and other things. And their attitude is Israel, my country, right or wrong, the identification. And they are not ready to hear criticism. And it's very easy to blame people who criticize certain acts of the Israeli government as anti-Semitics and to bring up the Holocaust and the suffering of the Jewish people. And that justify everything we do to the Palestinians.
So to be clear, those are her remarks, not mine. So if you want to attack, the media wants to attack her, that's
There's no doubt that, let me stop it right there. There's no doubt that everything that lady said was true, right? You know, she said it. But if you put a black face on that lady, or you put a white face on that lady, or an American face on that lady, that person would have been canceled immediately for the same exact words. For the same exact words. You know, so the grift is in. And we keep falling for the okie doke because, you know, I hate to say that's just the way it is, but the way it is absolutely wrong. It's absolutely, we should be able to criticize anybody who is doing things that are antithetical to your nature or to your humanity or to your integrity or to the way you think their positions are. These should be open. These open criticism should not be used to cancel anybody. They should just be a means for discussion. And sometimes you just got to part ways. You're going to do what you want to do. And this other person says, well, I'm going to say what I have to say. And we could just leave it at that. And then the people who decide that one side is more important or one side needs to be followed over the other, then that's how it starts to resolve. But everything a person says is not anti-Semitic. To them, it's just that everybody's open to criticism. Everybody. Nobody should be immune. So let's keep going.
It's totally fine with me. I'm just trying to figure out what is the definition of anti-Semitism, because I'm pretty sure that everything she just said would be categorized as anti-Semitic because she's criticizing the government that she served. To be clear, she was a far left politician, or at least that's how she's described online, is that she was a far left politician. But as I said, she was the Minister of Education for a year. So that means that Jewish Americans are allowed to critique Bibi Netanyahu. We have this woman who served in the Israeli government who's allowed to critique Israel. In case you're missing it, since our media never tells you this and they pretend that it's just an American issue or it's happening in the UK, there are protests, nonstop protests in Israel against Bibi Netanyahu right now. Here's a headline here. I could have showed you a video, but I'm just showing you here a picture. Israel protests, thousands rally against Netanyahu immunity. Okay, so everyone is, I guess, apparently allowed to criticize Israel, to rally against Netanyahu's immunity, so long as they are not a tax-paying American, I guess, because we're allowed to critique our own government, we're allowed to critique Biden, we're allowed to critique Trump. This, for whatever reason, is a no-go zone. They will try to ruin your entire life. The media will come after you. And she alleges that they have power in media. I'm not alleging that, but I can say that I definitely am seeing a concerted attack on me, as if there's a hit on me in the media for simply not agreeing with Bibi Netanyahu. And I will tell you the reasons why I don't. I've been very explicit about this. I don't like his thuggery. I don't like the way he speaks about America. I think it is absolute trash that you have people on the right that pretend that they care about free speech, they care about national sovereignty, that they care about the conservative movement, and then they will completely ignore the things that Bibi Netanyahu is on record saying about Americans, pretending like he's just got us in the bag, like we have no say in what's happening in our government, threatening if they boycott us, well, they will themselves be boycotted. We're passing laws in America. I'm going to show you a clip of Bibi Netanyahu, and then I will tell you what it says in English, plus show you a tweet to follow it. But let's just play it first and foremost. It's here in Hebrew.
מי שיחרים אותנו מוחרם בעצמו. בשנים האחרונות קידמנו בארצות הברית, ויש כבר ברוב המדינות שם, חוקים שמי שמחרים את ישראל נענש בעצמו. אז זה לא יעזור להם, אנחנו לא מתרגשים מזה, ואנחנו נלחמים בזה.
So you can see that was shared on his Twitter feed, and their language was underwritten. In case you're listening to Spotify, he says, and he sounds a bit like a thug in the way that he's moving, whoever boycotts us will themselves get boycotted. In the last few years, we have promoted in the USA, and there are now laws in most states here that anyone who boycotts Israel will themselves be punished. So it won't help them. We don't care, and we are fighting it. And that was backed up by the official Israel account's tweets, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And then they restate what he says: whoever boycotts us will be boycotted. The UN Human Rights Council is a biased body that is devoid of influence. Not for nothing, I have already ordered the severing of ties with it. It was also not for nothing that the American administration has taken this step together with us. In recent years, we have promoted laws in most states which determine that strong action is to be taken against whoever tries to boycott Israel. So why would Israel be allowed to promote laws in the United States of America? Help me out, conservatives. You guys are all so fearful. You're a bunch of scaredy cats. I can't stand it. And it makes me sick because the majority of people are men. And that's what we're dealing with right now. We're dealing with men that are terrified of being canceled. Like, that's the men. Like, a couple of generations ago, men were willing to go die for their country. Now you have men that don't even have the nerve to tweet, to say, this is not acceptable. I don't care what country it is. I don't care if it's Zelensky. I don't care if it's Netanyahu. I don't care if it's whoever's running the Taliban at this moment. No leader of a foreign country should speak like that about laws in America. That's what it means to have sovereignty. That is what it means. We want sovereignty, okay? It's not anti-Semitism. It's not Jew hatred. It's I demand sovereignty. And for every leader, every commentator who can't say that, can't make that statement, step aside. Genuinely, I reserve such anger and frustration for the wimps that I see on a day-to-day basis. I'm just scared. I don't know. I don't want to get canceled. You're just a bunch of, I don't even want to say women, because I'm a woman. I just little girls, and I can't even say that because my little girl's tough. You guys are pathetic.
Let me stop it right there. No lies spoken. I mean, Candice is just telling people exactly the way it is. The guys that run this country in the West are absolute cowards. I mean, this is just one issue, but on a lot of issues. I've never seen such, how could we possibly, we know it's about money. and re-election. But how could you just sell your soul, sell your country out to another sovereign nation, and then let them write laws to punish your citizenry if your citizens don't agree with that shit? I mean, it's crazy. And it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. These things don't stay the same. They don't lessen. They just get worse, right? So it's incredible that she's shedding this light on it, and she seems like she's on an island doing that. Where are the rest of the people doing that? No, it's just Candace Owens. They fired her from one organization, and now she's coming back stronger than ever. So that's why I have this called Candice Unleashed. She's unleashed. She feels untethered, and the fact that she's untethered, she's just saying all the things that so many other people, and unfortunately men, are paid to not say, and if they're not paid to not say it, they're too afraid to say it. It's incredible. So this is who runs our government, people. These are the people who run our government. They're genuflecting and bending the knee to a foreign government. It's beyond belief. But anyway, let's continue.
You guys are pathetic. And further to the point of how pathetic we've all become, it's like watching what is so clear to me to be federal agitators. You guys remember this. I said yesterday when these protests were going on, and just conveniently, everybody, you got neocons. Oh my God, look at this Netanyahu speaking, and this person's burning an American flag, I guess this means that people from the Middle East are evil and backwards. And it's a perfect narrative. I saw that video, and I'm going to show it to you right here. These two people, not even wearing a mask, not covering their faces, just boldly holding a Palestinian flag, dancing, and setting it on fire. And I thought, how odd is this video that a person wouldn't even cover their face and would do this? I don't care. I know there's crazy people on the left. I know there could be really crazy people on the far right as well. Okay. There's like the horseshoe theory that anything too far, they just kind of become the same. But that takes some courage. Like, you don't even care. Your face is not covered. You're dancing, you're holding this flag, and you know that news cameras are trained on you. Post January 6th, when you saw people locked up for doing way less, I don't buy this. So I did something that I've done a few times, and I've always been successful. I just say, hey, any information regarding this person, please send it to me. Not because I'm going to try to get this individual arrested. Look at this person right here. But because I just want to make sure if this is actually an American and this is not a federal agitator of some description that is trying to get people to break the law, just like we saw on January 6th, just like we saw with Ray Epps. Okay. Who is this person wearing sunglasses and dancing around? And would you believe it if I told you that post got 15 million views, and not a single person was able to confirm who that individual was. Not a single person has been able to confirm who these people are that showed up with gasoline and lit a fire right near the Capitol building. So we got the reaction to it, which is, we're supposed to be thinking, oh my gosh, Palestinians are awful. Now, I guess whatever Bibi Netanyahu wants to do over there is totally fine, and we should no longer critique it. So, wow, that's lucky. By the way, question, I don't know, here I am going down with my common sense. Why are they burning an American flag as opposed to an Israeli one? Oh, it's because we're trying to get Americans on our side, right? The neocons, the far, everyone is playing Americans right now. That's true. We are being played. The world is a stage. All of this is performative. It is not real. It is just not real. Can't find who those individuals are. So until somebody identifies who this person is dancing, holding a Palestinian flag, then I'm going to go ahead and say that appears to me to be a federal agitator. And what are they trying to agitate? The situation of Americans being gun-ho about going to war with Iran. I've been saying this to you for years. And now you had Bibi Netanyahu, who actually said in his speech yesterday that, they tried to kill Trump. And if they're successful in killing Trump, he really said this, guys, if they're successful in killing Trump, I hope you guys will respond to Iran. Now, Trump.
We're getting into the last phase of this, and I agree with her that I believe that guy was a plan. I mean, they do plant guys in these rallies. There is no way that that guy doesn't have somebody who already knows him. With all those videos, he would be fired from any job that he has immediately. How come nobody knows who that guy is? So I think it's easy for me to say that this guy was set up with whoever was his companion to burn the American flag. The issue also is, right, that the trick is really on them, because I'm not so sure Americans get as moved by seeing the flag burn as we used to. You know, I mean, of course, there's always going to be those zealots, but the truth of the matter is, look at that crowd that was around him. Nobody, usually somebody in that crowd would have snatched that flag and snatched him up and beat the shit out of him. That's what I'm thinking. It was like a controlled crowd around a dude just lighting fire to the flag. That never happens. There's always some guys in the crowd who will say, "Yo, what are you doing? Yeah, what's going on?" So I'm sitting down here saying, "Wait a minute, just wait a minute." So she's on to something. That's a keen eye by Candice, right? That guy's just out there willy-nilly, no flat. He's easily identifiable if he wasn't a black ops guy, somebody they just picked out and plucked out, and that's partly part of his job. He did what he was coming to do. And the thing about them not burning the Israeli flag, yeah, it's because that's not who they want to inflame. They want to inflame Americans. But if you go back and look at that video again, all those people in the crowd, some people just taking pictures like they were told to be here at a certain time so they can get that picture. Look how controlled the crowd was around this guy dancing around the flag. It's not really, let me tell you, if you just randomly went into any neighborhood with just a whole bunch of people around and you start burning American flags, I can almost guarantee you, there's going to be a few people going to challenge you while you're doing that, especially in the places where everybody's carrying guns. You know what I'm saying? So that was really a setup. I agree with her. So here, this is another part of this. And this is where we get into the call for war. And she makes a statement about that at the end. So let me just play this through.
Shared this on Truth Social, and I thought, I don't know, Trump, that kind of sounds like a threat. I don't know. I'm not liking that language. If they're successful next time in killing Trump, I hope that Americans will go to war with Iran. Wake up, Donald Trump. That doesn't sit right with me that he would say that. That's very strange that they're saying that Iran tried to kill you. That seems like a very strange thing for Iran to try to do in Butler, Pennsylvania ahead of your election. Okay? So I'll put our thinking caps on. I've been saying for years they want to go to war and they will do anything for it. And by the way, in case you're not keeping score for all the reasons they're telling you that you must support Bibi Netanyahu, it does tend to be the circumstance that every time Bibi Netanyahu shows up in America and suggests that we need to go to war with a country, we instantly go to war with the country. Take a look at this compilation.
If you take away the Soviet Union and its chief proxy, the PLO, international terrorism would collapse.
If you take out Saddam's regime, I guarantee you that it will have enormous positive reverberations on the region. Obviously, we'd like to see a regime change, at least I would, in Iran, just as I would like to see in Iraq. The question now is a practical question. What is the best place to proceed? It's not a question of whether Iraq's regime should be taken out, but when should it be taken out? It's not a question of whether you'd like to see a regime change in Iran, but how do it...
Are there any other nations that you would recommend that the United States launch preemptive attacks upon at this point?
The answer is categorically yes. The two nations that are vying, competing with each other, who will be the first to achieve nuclear weapons, is Iraq and Iran. But a third nation, by the way, is Libya as well. Libya is trying very rapidly to build an atomic bomb capability. So you have here now three nations. All stand together to stop Iran's march of conquest, subjugation, and terror.
Iraq, Libya, Syria. He says it, we do it. And now he's saying that Iran might kill President Trump. And if he does, then we just better all say we're going to war right now and not ask any further questions. Let me tell you something right now. Something happens to President Trump, I'm going to have a lot of further questions. And I'm going to make this statement to the American people. Please listen to me. Do not send your sons and daughters to fight in this planned war. They have been planning this war for years, okay? Do not believe them when they say they have weapons of mass destruction. They have been trying this strategy for years in various countries that they want war with, okay? Stop letting these elite oligarchs, very small group of them that benefit from these never-ending wars, allow you to be deluded into emotionality and irrationality and to allow your children to die on foreign soil. Not a single American daughter or son is going to die overseas for this planned war. Make that commitment. Genuinely make that commitment to yourselves. All right, guys, let's get into some of your comments here. Let me jump into.
Let me end that right there. That's the 20 minutes I promised you. She said a mouthful. Go back and listen to that several times. Listen, we all know about YouTube streets, right? This is on YouTube. They, they have full discretion on whether they keep people's videos up or not. So you can't just be running willy-nilly off the cuff without factual evidence or proof or something that is so unimpeachable that they can't just be taking you down just for willy-nilly, right? So Kansas is still standing, and that alone tells you that what she's saying has some merit, right? I mean, we ain't saying you got to go hate anybody, but you could be critical. You can't have, nobody self-corrects, right? Nobody self-corrects. Not without the criticism from somebody from the outside to say, wait a minute, what you're doing is wrong. Or maybe you should look at another way of getting you what you want out of this thing, right? So she's just saying, hey, this is wrong. The way our government and the men in our government are being bullied is wrong. And even if they sold out, at some point, even sellouts say, wait a minute, enough is enough. I do want a little bit of my soul to take me to heaven. Well, anyway, listen, I'm going to stop sharing this. And I tell you, Kansas, I'm glad she's back. It's funny, I was never that big of a Candice fan, especially I think some of her takes on issues, skirt the edge. I mean, instead of just being inflamed about the deletion of Massey, she has something on the edge to say about that, about how it's going to be used as fodder. But that, at this time to say that. But right now, we should just be outraged that a cop went into our house and shot her. That's the outrage. We don't need to have any other commentary around that because there's plenty of time for that. We know what the Democrats are going to try to use this to do, to garner the black vote. But you know what? I think there's a maturity in the black community as well. I think the quick indictment, or quote unquote quick indictment, of the cop is that overcomes some of the cover up that they were automatically trying to do. Is something. I have a problem with charging first-degree murder because that's a very tough charge to make stick. And a lot of DAs use that charge so they can get the cops off because the burden of proof is so high, to get a full conviction. All you need is one juror and this guy walks free. I would like to see lesser charges that he can't wiggle out of. I don't care how long the guy goes to jail. It's just that he could never be free again. That's what needs to happen. We don't have to go for the kit and caboodle so some DA could try to get his stripes or rig the thing so the guy walks free. That'll be the worst outcome. Anyway, this is a longer video than I usually do, but that's okay. It's my video. And I hope you like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Hey, listen, I'm gonna have more Candice Owens. Every time she has a hot take, I'm not gonna catch them all, but I are gonna put a Candice Unleashed video out, reacting to what she says, and it's a good thing that she's back. because I think there's always going to be good content from the lady. Anyway, Art Payne, marriage, politics, and sports. Over and out. Be sure to put some comments in here if you have comments. What do you think about what she's saying?